There is a moment in football, a very rare moment, when the opposing fans forget which team they support. It happened on 19 November 2004 at the Santiago Bernabéu in Madrid. Ronaldinho scored 2 goals that night, and when the second one went in, something extraordinary happened. The Real Madrid supporters in their own stadium, watching their own team lose, stood up and applauded the man who had just destroyed them. Real Madrid fans do not do that. They never do that. But Ronaldinho was not like anyone they had ever seen. He was not just a footballer. He was something closer to a force of nature. And all of this, started in a place very far from the Bernabéu. One of the greatest stories in football history. Subscribe to Footy IQ and stay with us for this one. Ronaldo de Assis Moreira was born on 21 March 1980 in Porto Alegre, the capital of Rio Grande do Sul in southern Brazil. The family lived in Vila Nova, a working-class neighborhood where money was tight and football was everything. His father, João, was a semi-professional footballer. Football was not just a sport in the Moreira household. It was the language the family spoke. Ronaldinho and his older brother Roberto played constantly, on the street, in the backyard, anywhere they could find space. When Ronaldinho was 8 years old, his father died suddenly from a heart attack while swimming in the family's pool. It was a devastating loss. His mother Miguelina worked double shifts to keep the family going. And Ronaldinho, still a child, poured everything into football. Every emotion, every memory of his father, every dream for that. By his early teens, the stories were already spreading through Porto Alegre. There was a kid in Vila Nova who could do things with a ball that grown men could not explain. At 13, he scored all 23 goals in a 23-0 youth match. That result went viral in Brazil long before the word viral existed. Grêmio, one of the biggest clubs in southern Brazil, signed him to their youth academy. The boy with the enormous smile and the impossible feat was on his way. Ronaldinho made his professional debut for Grêmio in 1998 at just 17 years old. Within a year, he was in Brazil's senior national squad, not as a squad player, not as a future prospect, but as someone the coaching staff genuinely believed could change a match on his own. He helped Brazil win the 1999 Copa America. He was dazzling in the Confederations Cup. European scouts who had heard the stories were now seeing the reality up close, and what they saw was unlike anything in their notebooks. Then came the 2002 FIFA World Cup in Japan and South Korea. Brazil were building a team of extraordinary talent: Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Cafu, Roberto Carlos. And then there was Ronaldinho, the young one, the joyful one. The one who played like football was the funniest game in the world. In the quarterfinal against England, with Brazil trailing 1-0, Ronaldinho stepped up for a free kick from the right side of the pitch, almost at the byline. What happened next, England goalkeeper David Seaman would spend years trying to forget. The ball arced high into the air, impossibly high, and landed in the far top corner of the net. Was it a shot? Was it a cross? Was it deliberate? Ronaldinho just smiled. He always just smiled. Brazil went on to win the World Cup, and the world went looking for a club that could sign this extraordinary 22-year-old. If you are enjoying this, like the video right now. It means everything for Footy IQ. In 2001, Ronaldinho left Grêmio for Paris Saint-Germain. It felt like an unusual choice at the time. PSG were not a European superpower. But for a young Brazilian trying to make his name in Europe, Paris was the perfect stage. Big enough to be noticed, free enough to express himself. He spent 2 seasons at PSG. They were not trophy-laden years. PSG were inconsistent and sometimes chaotic, but Ronaldinho was electric. Every time he had the ball, something extraordinary felt possible. He was learning European football, adapting his game, growing into the player that would soon take the world apart. And then, in the summer of 2003, Barcelona came calling. At the time, Barcelona were rebuilding after a difficult few seasons. They had a new president, Joan Laporta, who had made a bold promise to sign Ronaldinho as the centerpiece of a new golden era. The fee was 30 million euros. It would turn out to be the greatest bargain in football history. What Ronaldinho did at Barcelona between 2003 and 2006 is, genuinely, some of the finest individual football the sport has ever produced. He did not just win games, he transformed a club. Barcelona had not won La Liga in 4 years when he arrived. Within 2 seasons, they were champions of Spain and champions of Europe, and Ronaldinho was the reason. The numbers are impressive, but numbers miss the point with Ronaldinho. It was not about how many goals he scored. It was about how they made you feel. The elastico that left 3 defenders confused. The no-look pass that arrived perfectly at a teammate's feet. The overhead kick. The back heel. The free kick that bent in ways physics suggested were not possible. In 2004, he won the FIFA World Player of the Year. Then in 2005, the Ballon d'Or, the most prestigious individual award in football. Then in 2006, the Ballon d'Or again. Back to back. He was officially, undeniably, the best footballer on the planet. And then there was that night at the Bernabéu, 19 November 2004, the moment we mentioned at the very start of this video. Ronaldinho scored twice, ran the game, and received a standing ovation from 80,000 Real Madrid supporters. His teammate Deco described it afterwards simply, "I have never seen anything like it in my life." There was also a young Argentine on the Barcelona bench during those years. A teenager named Lionel Messi who watched Ronaldinho train every single day and later said that Ronaldinho was his idol. The player who taught him that football could be played with pure joy. Think about that for a moment. The man who inspired Messi. The man who inspired Messi. Subscribe to Footy IQ. This is exactly the content we make. By 2008, something had changed. Not in Ronaldinho's ability at his best, he was still breathtaking, but in his consistency, in his focus, in his commitment to the relentless physical demands of being the best player in the world. Reports began emerging from Barcelona. Late nights, parties, a lifestyle that was starting to take its toll on a footballer who needed to be at his physical peak every single week. Barcelona, reluctantly, decided to sell him. He joined AC Milan in 2008. At Milan, there were still moments of the old magic, flashes of brilliance that reminded you exactly who this man was. But they were flashes, not the sustained, unstoppable brilliance of the Barcelona years. Milan released him after 2 seasons. What followed was a tour of clubs that felt, at times, almost sad. Flamengo, Atlético Mineiro, Querétaro, Fluminense, great clubs in their own right, but not the stages where Ronaldinho's story was supposed to end. There were moments, even in those later years, that reminded you of the genius. A free kick here, a nutmeg there. That smile, always that smile. But the player who had stood on top of the world, who had made 80,000 Real Madrid fans applaud him, was now clearly on the other side of his career. The story was heading somewhere difficult. In March 2020, the world woke up to a headline that felt impossible. Ronaldinho, the most joyful footballer who ever lived, had been arrested in Paraguay. He and his brother Roberto had entered the country using falsified Paraguayan passports. The Paraguayan authorities arrested them and confiscated the documents. Ronaldinho spent 32 days in Paraguayan prison, and then a further 5 months under house arrest in a hotel in Asuncion, while the legal process played out. For his fans around the world, it was a heartbreaking image. The man who had made everyone smile in a prison cell. The greatest entertainer in football history, facing criminal charges. Even during those months, though, Ronaldinho could not help being himself. Reports emerged that he had organized football matches inside the prison, that other inmates asked for his autograph, that he spent his evenings playing music with a guitar. The smile never fully left him, even in the worst circumstances. He was eventually cleared of the most serious charges, paid a fine, and was allowed to return to Brazil. But the episode left a mark on his reputation and on the story of one of football's most beloved figures. Here is what is remarkable about Ronaldinho's legacy. He did not win the most trophies. He did not score the most goals. His career had a rise, a peak, and a fall like many great players. He made mistakes off the pitch and on it. And yet, ask any footballer, any manager, any fan who watched him play what they remember most about Ronaldinho, and they will not mention a trophy. They will describe a moment, a specific piece of skill, a goal, a smile, a feeling. That is the thing about Ronaldinho that no statistic can capture. He did not just play football. He reminded people why they fell in love with football in the first place. The joy of it, the freedom of it, the idea that a ball and 2 feet could produce something that made the whole world stop. Neymar grew up wanting to be Ronaldinho. Messi, arguably the greatest of all time, credits Ronaldinho as his inspiration. Entire generations of players learned their tricks watching Ronaldinho's YouTube compilations in their bedrooms at night. He was given the greatest compliment in football when his opponents applauded him. He was given the greatest compliment in life when children all over the world tried to copy his smile. Ronaldinho did not just play the game, he celebrated it, he shared it, he gave it back to everyone who watched. And for a few magical years in the mid-2000s, he was simply the most joyful thing happening on planet Earth. Ronaldinho, one of a kind, forever. Like this video, subscribe to Footy IQ, and we will see you in the next one.